These are the best highlights from the matchup between GenG and KT during the 2024 LCK Summer Split.
How good a pick that is off meta can be.
Oh dear, there's the flash grasping roots. Deft able to walk out of it, but he still has to walk in the wrong direction, and first blood goes to FaZe. That is about as bad as it could have gone for KT, but best possible scenario for GenG. And it's going to be able to push him away. Canyon moving on down, he'll take the leash.
And it's another example of how powerful clear speed is. Because what happened there is Canyon walks top, takes 2 grubs, then sees that the dragon is being taken, because KT is like, hey, if Canyon's top,
I really did want to have the ramp. Yeah,
Atlas, you know this is a safe space to discuss emotions that you have regarding one of your favorite
Mainly it's the Pyro, yeah. It's all right. Deft gonna have to give up this turret, absolutely. As Pureshik rotating around, you can see Lehens, he really wanted to find that Zenith blade, but doesn't get an opportunity just yet. As Returl is going to fall down. Keen getting kited. That is a decent encore under 3. Perfect into the backline. Finds his counter-strike on everyone. Strangle Thorns is there defensively, but BDD finds the ulti and KT! They managed to manufacture a team fight, and it has not looked better. Outside of that part there where Keen manages to kill Perfect. Chovy trying to go 1v4. That ain't gonna work. GenG gonna get spotted as the Scryer's Bloom comes in. Extendo beam onto Beryl. He is pretty squishy. They will start off this dragon once again. There's the flash forward, flash out from Beryl though as FaZe immediately cleanses the Glacial Prison. And Deft feeling pretty safe at this point in time. Finds the arrow onto Canyon. There's the knock up, but the Strangle Thorns has gone down. It's Perfect that gets FaZe out of the fight though, and there is the kill onto Canyon that he finally finds. This time though, FaZe is still alive, and Keen just slices him up and gets out of there. Deft wanting to get a bit of damage back as there's the counter strike from Perfect. The arrows are raining through though, and Perfect just wanting to find a pace, getting kited, and Deft finds the 1v1 at the end. It's a teleport to bring Keen back in though. And I don't know whether Deft wants to go for that particular 1v1 as well. At least this time he'll be able to walk his way out.
Keen is back in, okay. And Keen is about to TP back in.
This is this is the time in the Matrix where they're like, he's beginning to believe. Because now finally, they're about to, get closed in on in a fight, and they just say, we win these.
Oh.
And they did, as Beryl very excited about the situation, as once again, Perfect on a flank angle, GenG full information, Pureshik getting down low. Deft trying to find these volleys as Perfect gets into that backline. Another Strangle Thorns used on just the Jax, but it may work out here as it's a decent knockback. They take down the top laner, and Keen is absorbing so much BDD. He finds both carries in the backline, and FaZe is wiped out. This time though, they managed to get Deft, and I think that GenG have enough damage left available, and Pureshik and Beryl will not be able to do it. Pureshik will at least have the last laugh as he's the one that decides his fate. But Beryl is walking the wrong direction, and Lehens is just going to let him go. They don't want to waste their time because they just want to take this Baron.
Here we see the problem for KT. Even though Perfect, man, I'm betting KT is very happy that that guy is back.
Oh,
Finds a great flank. BDD gets the carries. The problem for KT is that GenG, you might look at this and go, they have 3 very strong carries. But the reality is they have 4. Because Keen on his Cassante, similar level of insane combo. And I think you start to see GenG adapt as well, in that I feel like they're a lot more aware of the threat of that ultimate, in that they don't just pile up behind.
Well, there it is! BDD finds all of them with that ulti. They do manage to at least get the kill on the Yone, and I think maybe the wallets are a bit too heavy, because look at that, the double from the grave.
I keep hoping for KT to find an even better angle. I just don't know if it's there.
Well, Solar Flare is going to slow down Deft, as now they do find an encore. We'll see whether it's just not. Beryl explodes like a balloon, and at least Keen gets knocked up, but he's just not taking damage. He dives in, gets the all-out onto Pureshik. Flash out from Deft, but his health bar is just too low. And Chovy is going to push Perfect out of there. They keep everyone alive, and GenG, I think this is the push for the end here in game number 1. The same way that it used to anyway, is okay. Keen just being that brick wall. This Baron is just falling down lower and lower. They do a bit of damage here to Keen to start this one up, and the Baron is now going to lose interest in the
Look
fight.
at the base! Look at the base!
The Winions are getting the work done here, but KT, we know that they are committed to finding a team fight. Perfect gets himself over. Lehens was waiting for him. Is now Chovy. He's going to get stunned up. Pays is going to fall down, and Perfect goes golden, avoids the strangle thorns. The team fight's beautiful. We're trying to ignore the fact that the base is just getting torn to shreds anyway. There's the 1-for-1 in the end, but it's not really a 1-for-1 because GenG just needs to keep the busy. BDD, Heathflake doesn't manage to get Chovy, and Chovy once again doesn't have to flash. It's a double kill for Canyon, and Deft is the last man standing. Crushshot gonna try and slow him down, but we can see those really large red markers, and here we are now. Back into the base as the minions have just spawned, but there are supers here, and this is over. That's the ace for GenG. And KT, they found a couple of fights. That was really cool, but there was just nothing they could do in the end.
Worse than last time. And that's credit to KT for their adaptations in the bans. I think they definitely made the right call in that regard.
Then look to see where to go next. Of course, as the Zyra, you just have a lot of time to think about where you want to go, because you just kill these camps so incredibly fast. As Beryl is going to get hooked, and they hadn't backed, and he's not going to be able to heal. He does manage to get himself the shield, but that is once again first blood. This time, no Canyon required for the secondary portion. Although he is still ahead by more than a wave, up against BDD here, as there's Hex Flash, and Lehens going to get slowed down momentarily, doesn't quite find that hook. As now Deft able to avoid the extendo beam. Ulti from Pays. Beryl doesn't have his available, nor does Deft. They do want to be able to kill a minion or two to try and get level 6. As now Pays gonna get turned on. Still level 5 to level 6 from Pays, but in comes Canyon. There's the flash. Doesn't manage to get too much, but there is the hook from Lehens to lock down the kill for Pays once again. One whatsoever. And so doesn't have flash anymore, of course. Used that in the last exchange. See whether he needs it, though, as this big wave is stacking up. And oh no, the grasping roots will connect, but Goshik, he'll turn up immediately to get knocked up into the sky. Canyon blocks down that first kill, and there's a hook once more. KT, it looked rough in game 1. It is looking absurdly difficult here in game number 2. Oh man, all right, Lehens, can he find the hook? Will he need to find the hook, I guess, is the question. As Pyoshik is going to flash it, but still has to invest it. And Keen is still doing, as Lehens misses a hook, so that might be an opportunity here for KT, who have done a damage to a turret here, as now BDD fighting against Chovy, but Canyon, he shows up. Pyoshik in the area, he'll find a Glacial Prison this time to get the knock-up. Ulti comes through as well. Can they kill Canyon? The answer is yes, as it's the arrow landing from downtown that collects it. And so Deft is on the board. He may immediately get punished as the hook goes completely wide. Deft still having the flash available as he uses it when he doesn't have to. So there we are. They deserved the flash.
Quickly, as an immobile mage. Saw an example of that there is, Pyoshik.
He's gonna face check as Pyoshik does find the Winter's Wrath, and it does absolutely nothing. Kirby just makes it over to the rest of his team. Canyon going to be able to lock down Drake number 2. And once again, it is that. This time Keen able to move in. He's going to play that front line. They managed to get the charge. It was Lehens, and Lehens is going to dive back in again. Use Shelly as a little bit of a speed boost, moving down towards that bottom side. Look at that, Drift King. Clipping through the walls and may just die, but it was very cool drifting, Lehens. Really nicely done. Love that.
Look at his face! Yeah. That's the most Lehens moment.
That's the most. Dragon has been started up. Soul Point available for GenG as they teleport in. Chovy looking to make his way over. Pyoshik using the walk tactic very nicely, but so's Keen, and his does some damage. Pyoshik gonna have to get out of there. Permafrost does come on through. There's the ulti, but Pays just dodges out of the way. And BDD not going to have that for this next fight. Now Lehens moving down, wanting to find that rocket grab. We'll see whether he can get it as flashes abound. And that is another one. The ulti just going to pick it up. Speaking of ultis, Lehens uses his circle as well. The bottom lane is eviscerated, and GenG never even really need to go for too much of a fight because KT were already on the ground.
And then Lahens just flash shots. Here we go.
This is the replay. This is the replay that we have to be watching here. Is he's concentrating. He's concentrating. He's like, wait a second.
네, 전령. 아니, 형 그럴 것 같았어, 뭔가. 야, 너무 괘씸해.
Next game, and they're like, okay, we're sorry, boss. We'll do a little bit better.
And you were talking about item spikes. Trovy's hit a few of them now. He's 3,000 gold ahead. Perfect is probably dead here. As does manage to sidestep that one quite nicely, but the knockup still does come through, and Pei's going to lock up his 4th. That should mean that GenG can just waltz on over to this Baron, pick that one up for themselves, and then use that to empower the minions to take down the enemy base.
There's no winner. Like, eventually someone is either going to overextend in sideline or get caught by a hook.
Yeah.
Once you're this far behind, we'll see. KT can maybe get some exit kills, maybe get a Hail Mary team fight.
All right, there's a Glacial Prison as pyosik tries to find it. The arrow goes entirely wide, though, unfortunately. Redemption is not going to be found in this game as the Extendo Beam is going to force the ultimate out of BDD. He's running away with about 400 health, and pyosik, he is a bit Owen Wilson, but I just don't think that's going to be the answer here as Keen, he's even going to look for him. Does not want to risk any sort of response. As, Lahens over the wall, Chovy over the wall, and there is the hook. That's going to connect. Chovy's going to lock it up with a rocket. And so there it is. BDD is the only one that is still alive. I mean, perfect that he's on the bottom side of. I think he's too worried, although BDD can still theoretically catch him as picks the gap there, does pyosik. A little bit unfortunate as he manages to part the Red Sea, as it were. And a hook going to be avoided there with an Arctic Assault, but my goodness, the damage is just ridiculous. And they still have more in the tank, right? Canyon still with the Stranglethorns available as there is the Grasping Roots. He throws down that ultimate like I was talking about. And perfect, he has to get Wild Growth, but he's still taking so much damage. The hook is going to be avoided, so he'll be able to make it back to the fountain. But after they get their health bars back, where does the good news start for KT in this game?
There's no good news, Atlas. We both know that.
Yeah, it is.
It's not happening.
It's rocks in hard places, as we do like to talk about here in the LCK. And it's really trying to hold on, but it is just not going to work. It's 14,000 gold. Chovy walks at Deft, and Deft could do nothing about it as the rockets rain down. Nexus Turret 1 will fall down. Nexus 2 sure to follow. And GenG just looking for a few extra kills as they melt them on their fountain. The MSI champions just toying with KT here, the only team that's been able to beat them in a best-of series this year, and it did not happen in the first round robin of Summer. That's absolutely for sure.
These were some of the best highlights from the 2024 LCK Summer Split matchup between GenG and KT. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comments section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.